Good afternoon and welcome to ULTradez. This is the YouTube channel where I share my trading journey as I work to get 20 Apex accounts through the evaluation phase, funded, and to pay out. And today is my trade review video for August the 29th. It is a Tuesday afternoon. I am getting to this a little bit late in the day. We had kind of a busy afternoon, so I was not able to do it earlier. And because I waited so long, the P&L reset, so I don't have the P&L to show you. But I'll go over my progress today. And then I also want to show you the results of the backtesting that I did. I backtested 3 weeks worth of trades following the strategy that I'm using right now. And I did it using 4 different ATM strategies to kind of get an idea of where, if I could optimize that a little bit. So I'll share those results with you in this video. So let's get into it. All right, here are the 2 trades that I took. The first trade was a losing trade. The second trade was a winning trade. The net result was after fees was about $96 in each account, except for one account. My account number 140 ended up with $120. So it got a little bit of a better fill in one of the trades than the other ones. So it was a very mediocre day considering the fact that the day, it just went up like all day long. But one of the weaknesses of this strategy is it doesn't do real well in super trendy days. So let me show you the 2 trades that I took, and then we'll take a look at the backtesting results. So as the market opened, we came in just flat, boom, into the open, had this drop. And I noticed a lot from my backtesting in the RTY that a lot of times it'll drop below, then push above, and then drop below, or it'll cross over pretty dramatically right at first, oftentimes, before it picks direction. Today it didn't. It came down pretty strongly, and then it was moving back up. So this looked really good to me. I had my order, as I do, just set to enter 1 tick below this gold line here, which is the 9 EMA based on the 5-minute time frame. Okay. Now, one of my rules is when the EMA and the SMA, this red line and this gold line, when they're flat, I do not enter the trade because it ends up, I'm really looking for direction, and when they're flat, there is no direction. So when I attached my order to this gold line here, as price was at the bottom and started to curl up, this line was very decidedly angled down, and so it was fine. But then this pushed up so strongly, it pushed this line up flat, and I couldn't exit my order fast enough, and it pushed up and tagged me in. So I knew almost immediately this was unlikely to be successful. So I did move my stops down. I had an opportunity to get out for break even, but because it was starting to pull down, I thought, well, maybe maybe I'll get lucky, but that was not the case. So this was a pretty big loss on this one. So then price pushes up, and as soon as this, so I was worried about the lines being flat again. As soon as this line started to curve up, I went ahead and I attached my order to it, and then we had this push down, but the line remained in this upward angle here, and we got ticked in, and right here, and we got 10. The first half of the position sold out at 10 ticks here. The ATM strategy that I'm using now actually has a 20 tick target. Based on my back testing, and I'll show you those results here shortly. But I was looking at the top of the opening range here, which is this box here, the high and low of the first 15 minutes of the day. And I suspected we were going to push through there because that was below the high that had been created by these guys over here. So I went ahead and moved my target up to 30 ticks, and it did come up and fill at 30 ticks. So that was that trade. And then after that, I waited for it to come back for a second test of that gold line, and it never did. So This one here looks like it touched, but it actually didn't. When this candle formed, it was still, I mean, probably 5 ticks above the line. There was a big gap there. I had my order sitting there, but it never came down to it. When price pushed up, that pulled this line up, so it makes it look like it touched, but in real time it was not touching. So did not provide a good entry. Comes back up, doesn't touch again, and I mean, it just winds all the way up. And then I only trade till 11 o'clock, which is right here. So that was the end of my day. And that was about it. So I really struggle on trending days. I really hate trading trending days. When they're just kind of straight up, because I'm always in the back of my head wondering if we're at the top. And I'm always nervous pulling, buying these pullbacks, especially when, like right here, things just start to move so slowly. I just, something I need to work on, because I feel like there was a lot of opportunity today. Hopefully you guys, some of you guys made a lot more than $100 off of, this amazing opportunity that the market gave to us today. Obviously if this one, if I'd had the patience to just hold in this one, man, probably right about here, my accounts would have all been passed. That would have been a nice trade. So those were my trades for today. Let me show you my back testing results real briefly. This is just a lot of numbers on my spreadsheet, so don't worry too much about it. What this shows is I went through using the market replay for 3 weeks, August 7th down to August 25th, and I entered every valid trade and just recorded the results. So the ATM scenarios that I was testing is the one I was using originally, and all of these I break into 2 positions, basically half a position that sells out at 10 ticks, and then the other half sells out at in this case 40 ticks with a 25 tick trail. This scenario was the first half selling at 10 ticks, the second half selling at 30 ticks with a 25 tick trail. Scenario number 5 was having the whole thing just go to 30 ticks with no trail. And then scenario 6 is 10 profits at 10 ticks and 20 ticks with a 25 tick trail. So what I thought was interesting about this is if I look at the win-loss percentage, and I consider to win anything break even and higher. So I did count a break even trade as a win. Anything that didn't lose money is a win in my view. And if you see the first, let's see, scenario 1, scenario 3, and scenario 6 all had the same win-loss percentage, which I thought was interesting. So that tells me, basically if this one, if it goes to 20, it's likely to go to 40, right? I mean, that's basically what it says. If it doesn't go to 20, I mean, obviously it's not going to 40. And so, that would tell you that, well, this one may make the most sense. The one, though, that actually performed way better was scenario number 5, where you just hold your stop loss, no trail, at 20 ticks, and put your profit target at 30. And what I did was I totaled up the number of ticks you would have won in total. So you can kind of see what that looks like. So scenario 5 across that 3 weeks would have netted 1,000 ticks versus scenario 1 at 642, scenario 3 at 596. So these ones are very close. And scenario 6 at 498. The problem is that because scenario 3, you're either going to get a full stop out or a full, your full profits. The swings can be pretty dramatic. And so I did some napkin math over here. Oh, that's not the right one. I did it off to the side here because I wanted to see if the trailing stop could handle it. And it doesn't look like that it can. So this is the kind of where my trail would be. If I strictly followed that plan starting, with a fresh account. And you can see right here, we would lose our account. $50,000 account anyway, using, actually this is only using 6 contracts. If we're doing a full 8 contracts, which is what I had here, it would be much earlier. So I was trying to find if there was an optimal spot. So, I mean, you could come down, say, well, 5 contracts, you'd probably be safe at 5 contracts. In the end, what I decided was that those kind of dramatic swings, one, it requires that you enter every single trade because your winning trades are very important to offset your losing trades, because, you know, it's all or nothing, right? Compared to any one of these scenarios that has a trailing stop, you see, you know, the wins sometimes aren't as good, right? So on this trade, our trailing stop cut us short and we only ended up with 10 ticks. While as over here, because if we let it just kind of play out, it did get to the 30 ticks, which in this case gives us 60 ticks total, right? Because half the position, because I'm dividing the position into 2 is why this total is 60, not 30. And so the win, you know, but over here, if we hit our total, you know, it's going to be 50, which is still not quite as good as if we'd put all of our contracts into, you know, the position reaching for the full 40 ticks. So this is a little bit more smoothed out, compared to this, which is, you know, which would give you more dramatic swings in your trailing stop. And that's really what I'm more worried about than even the profits, is that frustrating trail. Now, once the accounts get funded and I get a cushion, then maybe a strategy like this makes sense. What I ended up deciding to go with ultimately was just the simple 20 ticks, because it runs, you know, pretty consistently, and that'll be easier on me mentally. And then what I can do, like I did today, is just move my target out. If it looks like there's enough room, then I can move my target. And what I mean by room is if I look at it, and like in this case, we're in down here, but we have a high up here that, and say 30 ticks is within that range, I can be pretty comfortable moving my target up, because it's likely to push up towards that high. And so it gives me a little more flexibility. So I'm not saying that's really the ideal scenario, but for me, that's the path that I've chosen. So we're going to give that a try. Like I said, we only had 2 entries here, and one of them was invalidated. I just couldn't cancel the order fast enough, and I got penalized for it. The other one won. So, you know, it wasn't a bad day. It was a good day. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any comments. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Drop me a note, and hopefully you had a great day. Remember to trade safe, trade your plan, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.